Have you ever wanted to do a time skip in your story but weren't sure how to do it without skipping important information? Or maybe you just weren't sure of how to indicate the passing of time in a natural and believable way. Today's topic breaks down how to effectively indicate the passing of time like a pro. Let's get started! Hey guys, Nour here and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome! Writing the passing of time is one of those topics that every writer needs to learn, but very few actually think about. The reason I thought of this topic is because I was reading some stories by newbie writers and realized they were struggling with time skips. Well, struggling isn't the right word because I don't think they realized that they should have utilized time skips. So, their stories droned on. It sounded like this. Lucy took a bath before tea time. Then she went to tea time. After tea time, she brushed her hair and went for a night stroll. Then she went to bed. And when she woke up, blah blah blah. We don't need to know all the boring facts. We can skip them and go straight to the time that has more action. Of course, in this scenario, they forgot to do small time skips. However, writers can also do big time skips. I'll talk about both today. In essence, time skips save the reader from reading boring scenes filled with nothing important.
Oh Nour, look at my fashion and hair. I'm wearing a nice gray and blue sweater and my hair is down.
Why are you saying this out loud?
For the reader, of course.
What? Are we in a book?
Yes. And I'm the main character.
What?
Timothy Vaughn's side character. That's me, the main one.
Get out of here. Therefore, when we do a small time skip, we are telling the reader not to worry, that they didn't really miss out on anything important. Small time skips are easy to pull off. You can go about them in a couple different ways. You can simply indicate the time skip when you start a new paragraph. For example, you could say something like, "We decided we would go to the party. A few hours later, we stood in front of the mirror admiring our pampered faces and fancy hairdos." This is a small time skip. It happens in the span of a few hours. Small time skips can be seconds, minutes, hours, or a few days. You could also indicate a time skip by starting a new scene. You can do this by putting an extra space between paragraphs and putting some sort of divider. I usually like to put 3 asterisks as my scene dividers. However, I did ask my cover designer to swap out those asterisks for a sword when doing the interior formatting of my book Divinity Falling. But in an unpublished manuscript, asterisks are a good call. Now your reader expects a time skip when you start the new scene. However, do make sure to give a detail or two to center the reader, much like I did a moment ago in my example. If you told readers that characters are going to a party, in the next scene after the divider, maybe show the characters exiting their cars with their hair all dolled up, standing outside the house hosting the party. This tells readers that a few hours have passed without you having to say so. So double the win! Much like with a scene break, you could indicate small time skips by starting a new chapter. Now, big time skips are a bit different because they mean we missed out on a lot of important information. This can be weeks, months, or even years or decades. It can even be centuries, with the destruction of planet Earth for all we know.
You know, this planet is cool and all, but I really miss Earth.
Yeah, what happened to it?
I don't know, we just left last week because the pages said so.
Shouldn't the author explain?
It's fine, it happened during the time skip, who needs to know? Oh hey, there's a rover.
Point being, so much has changed and the reader needs to know about it. The big things the reader missed out in this big time skip are valuable information. We don't need to know everything, but we do need a summary or some hints and details about those changes. If several years have gone by, did our character change, mature, fall apart? Are some characters married or single? What must we know? And we must indicate that we have a big time skip quickly, and preferably right away. You could do this at the very top of your first scene. Much like a small time skip, you can indicate a big time skip in the next paragraph, in a new scene, or in the next chapter. However, there is also one more way. You can add a page that says Part 2, which divides everything into a before and after kind of situation. Then, you'll start a new chapter on the following page. If you choose to start a new chapter without saying Part 2, either indicate the time skip underneath the chapter heading or right in the first few sentences. Of course, a big time skip can happen from paragraph to paragraph, though that's probably the hardest one to pull off. But if done correctly, this can be brilliant. If you read books by renowned authors, you'll notice that they all do this flawlessly. An author that does this super well in a natural way is J.K. Rowling. Her time skips are so flawless that we don't even notice them unless we're paying close attention. Here's an example of some time skips I wrote just for this video. Daphne couldn't believe her parents were separating. She blinked at the two of them, dumbfounded and suddenly too tired to go visit her friend Sally. "We're only taking a break, hun," her dad said. But she didn't understand the difference between a break and complete desertion. Her parents promised her they'd get her the latest video game she wanted and some new clothes, maybe even a puppy. But she began tuning them out. She couldn't imagine herself playing video games anymore. Her life was over. The next morning, nothing had changed, and her father didn't stay home. Daphne didn't touch her games, didn't even call her friends. She just lay in bed moping, hoping that would make her parents come to their senses. When a few weeks passed and her father still slept out, Daphne realized this was it. Nothing will ever go back to the way it was. She snatched her game controllers and played the new game her parents had gifted her to make up for her misery. Here, I inserted a small time skip and a big time skip to show how they can both be done in this manner. And in doing so, I avoided all the boring scenes in between where Daphne did nothing but mope around the house. So those are my tips for you. Let me know in the comments, do you frequently use time skips in your writing? And what's your favorite way of indicating the passing of time? I'd love to know. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frey from my shoutouts here over on Patreon, as well as all my other patrons. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for your support. And don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day. And remember, Nour for president!